Solace, my monkeys, my little monkeys, my big monkeys. Pause. Um, Today, I'm just gonna get straight into it. Why are you so scared? Why? The reason I asked that question is because there's a few things you've wanted to do that you've chosen to avoid. Why? Is it a fear of failure? Okay. Well, if it's a fear of failure, do understand you only fail once you stop. So if you were to start something that you're fearful of starting because of failure, the only way you could truly be fearful of it and have that fear come to fruition is through choosing to stop doing it. When we have things we want to do, but we find reasons, and I would use the word excuses to avoid it, we fuck ourselves over bad. Being fearful is natural. It's a human component. It's part of this human experience. However, fear is not supposed to be a limiter. It is supposed to be the wall that you're meant to bridge over, to cross over this into this new version of yourself. Excuse me. For you to do the things that you want to do, first you must overcome yourself. For you to be who you are, you must first become who you are. And that is by losing who you were, which is who you are now. And the only way you can do that is by facing these fears. This is like one of the first couple of things you have to do in life, to be honest. It is. It's not going to be one of those things and for some people, they're able to put it off for a longer period of time, but even then it always comes back somehow, some way. Your fears are always going to be there if you don't take care of them, whether it be in little triggers or bigger ones. There's always going to be something for you to need to attend to with that piercing anxiety in your heart. So why not cut that vine early? The way I would suggest we start to do this is exposure therapy. If you're not used to something you're fearful of, I'm gonna use a physical example like snakes, because I like snakes. But I understand a lot of people are terrified of snakes. The only way you can start to build a relationship with snakes that isn't based on fear is by exposing yourself to snakes. So just take take snakes and replace it with whatever you have going on. The first thing you have to do is be willing to be around a snake. You have to be willing to put yourself in a scenario to be in the environment with a snake. Okay, intentionally, or maybe not intentionally. Maybe this is just something that's put across your path that's like a test for you. Regardless, you're going to want to be near a snake. Now, of course, this is going to take time, so you're not going to get over this fear the first day. Maybe some people will. I'm not gonna lie. There are some overachievers out there. I don't know what the fuck you would do with the snake at that point, but you got it. But when we have the snake in front of us, your body will respond accordingly, and you, depending on how fearful of the snake you are, you'll have a few different responses. You might like shiver, stare really blank-eyed. Is that? I'm just running around with it. And you're going to, for people who are like petrified of them, you're gonna like freeze up, like you're gonna go into like shock. Now, again, it's all normal. But what you'll realize in life is that it's not necessarily about what happens to you, it's how you go about dealing with it, okay? And if you're in the petrified stage, I would tell your ass to just go back home and like look at like videos of them or some shit to start off, because you're way slow down. But if the snake doesn't freeze you up like that, now that you're able to comprehend its physical appearance in front of you and to actually analyze it, start to go through the thoughts that are going through your mind. Why does this bother me so much? What about it is bothering me? Whys and whats are going to be the main things you need to go through. I'd say to do a good 5 to 10. They'll be quick, and you'll answer them like this if you're being truthful with yourself. And as you break it down more, you'll get it down to a fundamental idea of, okay, well, I'm scared of this because of this. Okay. Now, once you're able to write that down, what you want to do is start to set up a little program around that. Okay. If you're scared of the snake because of how it moves, what you're going to do is every day, or not every day, because obviously, it can't be that consistent, but hypothetically, every day you would go over to that same place you saw that snake, you would see the snake, and you're going to pay attention to how it moves slowly and very much in the present moment. It may make you feel fucking uncomfortable. You may feel sick at some points, but regardless, you need to do it to imprint the idea in your brain that you have done it before. Because now that you have looked at the snake, now it's moved and it has disgusted you previously. You're now taking the conscious time and effort to change your perception of that. Whether it changes that day or not does not matter. What matters is that you are trying to make the attempt to break through that wall. Okay? But understandably so, fears are one of those things that are going to be pretty tight to your character. It's not going to be something you can do in a day. I promise you that. Let me not promise you that, because again, overachievers, but it'll take time. It will, and it'll take willingness too. You have to be willing to do that to yourself and for yourself. And you're strong enough to do it. Believe me. And I know snakes are a physical thing, but there are mental and spiritual fears as well. Engage with those accordingly. But also do it in a way that keeps yourself safe. Obviously, you don't fucking walk up to the snake and try to touch it. Okay, you don't need to do that to work on your fears. That's what I mean by overachievers. Like, you start fucking biting the snake or some shit. Relax. Okay, you don't need to do that. Just take your time. Approach your fear from a distance and slowly get to a point where you're able to be at a comfortable range from it, so that if you need to punch it, you can punch it. Don't punch the snake though. Don't do that. But hypothetically, or yes, whatever. We'll use that word. That's about all I really had to say about this though today. Let's work on these specifically, because your fears are going to determine your life if you let them. So I would just rather us not let that happen. That's about it today. I love you all. If you haven't heard that today, let me say it again for you. I love you. And take care.